There's a serious issue I would like to address to everyone that I do not find to be very accurate. I would like to take the time out and talk to everyone about Michelle Obama's Let's Move lunch plan that is supposed to end childhood obesity. Let me first say that this idea is ridiculous. I do not believe that one meal my children eat at school is going to change if they are obese or not. This is one meal out of the 3 meals children eat in a day. I'm sure Michelle Obama thinks she can change the world in childhood obesity, but the truth is, she cannot. If children are becoming obese, it is not from the school's meals. It is from what we as parents let our children eat outside of school. Most of our children's food source is at home. During my research on letsmove.gov, Mrs. Obama states that many children eat as many as 2 meals a day at school, and she thinks that schools have a vital role to play in combating childhood obesity. If she would actually go to school, sit and observe the children in the lunchroom eating breakfast or lunch, she would note that most children are too busy talking, laughing, and playing rather than eating very much of their food. During meal times at school is usually when our kids have their social time. So many children talk through lunch and eat only a very small portion of their meal. Some of the food choices on the menu, I think, are choices children will not even acquire a taste for later in life, and some choice foods I still won't eat as an adult. How can we expect our children to want to eat things that we will not eat? So if the meals at school are terrible and our children go all day without eating, how is that healthy for them? Well, I guess you could say that might bring obesity down slightly because our children starve all day and don't eat. Then again, it may not, because by the time they get home from school, all they'll do is eat twice as much as they would have eaten if they had eaten a little bit of food while they were at school. Also, during my research on PBS.org, Mrs. Obama says that her children's pediatrician points out the changes in her kids' body mass index. That's all good for her kids, but that's not a result based on just their intake at school. To make a change like that, it would have to come from everything they have eaten at home and at school. Losing body mass index is from a whole lifestyle change, not just one meal a day. It would take every family in America changing all of their daily food intake to make this a reality nationwide, not just a change on our lunch menu. While reading further on PBS.org, I learned that Mrs. Obama is trying to get stores and restaurants to change their food selections to fresh and healthy foods. All I can say is I'm all for healthy foods, but if it doesn't taste good, who'll buy it? Also, it talks about the lunch foods being baked rather than fried, and that's great too, but bake foods that taste good to our kids. Further in my research on whitehouse.gov, Mrs. Obama talks about parents playing a key role in making healthy choices for their children, and I agree with that. The only thing is, sure, parents want their children to eat fresh and healthy foods, and they would like to eat that themselves as well. But there's a problem. The food costs for fresh and healthy foods are so high that most families can't afford to purchase them even if they want to for their children. With the unemployment rates up and the jobs people do have don't pay enough to keep up with the constant rising prices of food. The fresh and healthy foods seem to fall into the most costly bracket, so in most cases it's skipped and on to cheaper processed foods. It is actually really sad that the foods that have no additives cost more than the foods that do. It also states on whitehouse.gov that the schools are getting additional federal funding for meal reimbursements, which is probably what prompted them to make the change. The only thing is that we are wasting more federal money by doing this. If our children are not eating the food that's being bought, and most of it is being thrown out after meals, what good is that? The federal government is blowing more money, food is being wasted, and now our children are going hungry at school. Does that sound like a great plan to you? On hhs.gov, they say several times that they are improving access to healthy, affordable food. I don't know about you, but I haven't seen any affordable price changes yet. As I continued my research on the subject, I came across commonhealth.wbur.org, and Mrs. Obama talked about when she first decided to focus on this obesity problem and how people would take it. She also said that there was an assumption that kids won't like eating healthy food. Well, I think there are plenty of healthy choices that our children would eat, but the schools are serving everything that they won't eat. What I'm about to tell you is a true story of mine from earlier this year. I accompanied my daughter on her field trip to the pumpkin patch, and this is a picture of her meal packed by the school. It included a super bun, an apple, about 5 baby carrots, a stick of white cheese, a bag of original Sun Chips, and a fat-free chocolate milk. Okay, some of those are good, healthy choices, but when does the main part of the meal include a super bun instead of a sandwich? It said it was fortified with minerals, vitamins, and proteins, and it was cinnamon flavored. I was blown away that this was my child's healthy meal. It looked like a honey bun, but tasted horrible. My daughter took one bite out of it and said that it tasted really bad and she didn't want to eat it. I was looking at it thinking, it looks good. It can't be that bad. That is until I took a bite of it myself. It was awful. Needless to say, she didn't eat it or very much of the rest of her meal. I proceeded to talk and complain with some of the other parents there who had the same opinion about this pitiful excuse for a meal. I took pictures of the meal and also of the nutrition facts, calories, and etc. on the label. After the field trip, I immediately went home to do my research on the regular honey bun label. I just really had to know if there was that big of a difference. At least I know that the honey buns taste good. The sad part was that there wasn't much difference for them to serve that crap over the real deal, and at least these kids would have eaten a honey bun. I still think that there should have been a healthy sandwich in that bag, especially if Mrs. Obama wants to go healthy because the super bun doesn't cut it. With all due respect to Michelle Obama, I think she is a wonderful person and she probably thinks what she's doing is right, but from one mother to another, I don't tell her what to feed her children and she shouldn't tell us what to feed ours. I hope after all that I have shared with you today that you feel the same as I do and will try to find a way to stop this madness so that our children may once again enjoy eating at school.